The Krillian armada emerged from hyperspace with the confidence of conquerors who had never known defeat. For 3 millennia, they had swept across the galaxy, reducing civilizations to ash and taking what they pleased. When their scouts reported a species called humans occupying a backwater system, the Krillian High Command barely registered the information. Just another primitive world to harvest. Commander Eva Chen stood on the bridge of the UHSF Defiance, watching the enemy fleet materialize on her tactical display. 200 warships, each one larger than anything humanity had ever built. The mathematics were simple and brutal. Earth didn't stand a chance. "Ma'am," her communications officer reported, voice trembling. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies. It's a surrendered demand." Eva listened to the translation with an expression that her crew had learned to recognize. It was the look she got when someone made a terrible mistake, and she was calculating exactly how to make them regret it. The Krillian message was standard: fair for galactic bullies, submit or die, become slaves or be exterminated. Your civilization ends today. Liam, Eva said quietly to her tactical officer. How long until the civilian evacuation is complete? Liam Rodriguez checked his console, his jaw tight. 72 hours, minimum. The colony transports are still loading from the outer settlements. Then we buy them 72 hours. Eva turned to her communications officer. Send a response. Tell them we need time to consider their generous offer. Be polite, be diplomatic. And Lieutenant, yes ma'am, make sure every word is recorded for the history books. What the Krillians didn't know, what no alien species in the galaxy truly understood, was that humanity had been holding back. For 200 years since achieving faster-than-light travel, humans had encountered dozens of alien civilizations, and every single one of them had been peaceful, diplomatic, terrified of conflict. So humanity had adapted. They'd learned to negotiate, to compromise, to resolve disputes with words instead of weapons. They'd mothballed their most devastating technologies, locked away the darker fruits of their violent history, and genuinely tried to be good galactic citizens. The Krillians had just given them permission to stop trying. 60 hours into the negotiations' stalemate, the Krillian fleet commander lost patience. His ships opened fire on the orbital defense platforms, reducing them to superheated plasma in minutes. They broadcast a final ultimatum: surrender in 1 hour, or the planetary bombardment begins. Eva watched the destruction of humanity's defensive infrastructure with cold eyes. Around her, the bridge crew sat in shocked silence. "Ma'am," Liam said softly, "the evacuations are at 92%. We need more time." "I know." Eva pulled up a communication channel she'd hoped never to use. Authorization channel. Activate protocol Prometheus. Across human space, weapon systems that had been dormant for generations roared to life. In hidden bunkers on Mars, in hollowed asteroids throughout the belt, in stealth platforms scattered across the system, humanity's true arsenal awakened. The Krillians detected the energy. Signatures too late. The first wave hit them like a hammer. Relativistic kinetic kill vehicles, accelerated to 90% light speed, tore through Krillian shields as if they were tissue paper. 30 ships vanished in nuclear fireballs before their sensors even registered the attack. "They're trying to retreat," Liam reported, something like savage joy in his voice. "Negative," Eva replied. "Deploy the nanite swarms." Authorization confirmed. The second wave was quieter but infinitely more terrifying. Microscopic machines, each one a self-replicating nightmare of human ingenuity, spread through the enemy fleet like a plague. Krillian warships began tearing themselves apart from the inside as their own systems were converted into more nanites. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," the communications officer reported. They're begging us to stop." Ava's expression didn't change. Did they stop when we asked for time? Did they hesitate before firing on unarmed defense platforms? She leaned forward. "Liam, are the civilians clear? Last transport just jumped to hyperspace. All civilians are safe." Good. Eva opened a channel to the Krillian flagship. "This is Commander Eva Chen of the United Human Space Forces. You came to our home. You threatened our families. You gave us a reason to get really nasty." She paused. "Thank you for that." The third wave was the one that would be remembered. The quantum destabilizers, weapons that made nuclear bombs look like firecrackers, turned the very fabric of space-time into a weapon. Krillian ships didn't just explode, they ceased to exist, erased from reality as if they'd never been there at all. In 15 minutes, The entire Krillian armada was gone. Not defeated, not destroyed, gone. The galactic community watched in horror as humanity broadcast the battle footage on every frequency, in every language. The message was clear and terrifying. We tried being nice. Don't make us try something else. Liam stood beside Eva as the last enemy signatures disappeared from the tactical display. What do we do now? Eva looked out at the stars, at the vast galaxy that had just learned what humans were capable of when pushed. Now, we go back to being diplomatic. We put these weapons away again. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. And we hope nobody else is stupid enough to give us another reason. The Krillian Empire, which had dominated a quarter of the galaxy for 3,000 years, surrendered unconditionally within a week. The Council of Civilizations, who had always treated humanity as naive newcomers, suddenly found themselves very interested in establishing stronger diplomatic ties. And on Earth, in a small ceremony attended by only a handful of witnesses, Eva Chen received the Medal of Valor. The citation read, "For reminding the galaxy that humanity's kindness is a choice, not a weakness." She accepted it with the same cold expression she'd worn throughout the battle, because she knew the truth that would haunt her forever. Humanity had finally been given an excuse to unleash hell, and part of her, a dark, primal part, had been terrifyingly glad for the opportunity. The galaxy would remember the Battle of Seoul. They would tell stories about the day humanity stopped pretending to be harmless, and they would never, ever make the same mistake the Krillians had. Because now they knew, humans don't want to be monsters. But if you force them to choose between their families and their conscience, they'll become whatever they need to be, and they'll be absolutely brilliant at it. The end.